I feel you.
Good evening, and welcome to the Kingsport Board Mayor and Alderman's monthly board business meeting. First thing that we're going to do tonight is swear in our newest alderman. So Gary and Judge, would you come forward, please?
Do we need side chairs? Sure. Which way they, where do you want me to stand?
Side in, that's okay.
You want to stand over here?
Yep, so you can hold it for him, and there you go, put your left hand on the Bible, raise your right hand. Do you affirm that you have all the qualifications and are not subject to any disqualifications named in the City of Kingsport Charter for the office of Alderman?
I do.
Will you support the Constitution and laws of the United States of America, the state of Tennessee, and the charter and ordinances of the City of Kingsport?
I will.
Do you affirm that you will, well and faithfully, discharge the duties of the office of Alderman for the City of Kingsport, Tennessee?
I will.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Alderman Mays.
Welcome.
And welcome. And thanks, Tammy, for letting him serve with us. At this time, we will stand for the Pledge of Allegiance by Assistant Chief Arnold, led by a prayer, Reverend Love. As Reverend Love comes tonight, let us all remember those that are less fortunate than we are during this time of need in our area and across this country. Reverend Love.
Almighty Father, we come to you tonight and we are begging for mercy for those who have become victims of flooding and mass disaster. Be with them and guide and guard them. Send angels and send heroes to be among them and to bring them what they need. And help us, once we move through devastation, to adopt plans of rebuilding, bigger and better than before. We pray especially for those who have lost loved ones and are looking for loved ones. Guide those efforts and help them in any way possible. We pray your blessings upon this board of mayor and aldermen. Give them grace and give them guidance. Remind them of their sacred duty to take care of those less fortunate, to see those others do not see, and to guide us with law and with grace. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. May be seated. Madam Recorder, would you have a roll, please?
The roll.
Mayor Montgomery,
Here.
Vice Mayor Duncan,
Here.
Alderman Baker,
Here.
Alderman Cooper,
Here.
Alderman George,
Here.
Alderman Mays,
Here.
Alderman Phillips.
Thank you. All 7 members are here at the dais. Thank you very much. At this point in time, we will have open comments from those in the audience who may want to speak to us tonight. And we ask that you this time, if you would, if you want to, come and speak on any item that's on the agenda or any issue-oriented item that you may have. When you come to the podium, state your name and sign your address there as well. You encourage keep your comments non-personal in nature, and that you limit to 5 minutes. A total of 30 minutes total for the entire time. Seeing none, Mr. City Manager.
All right, we have no appointments on the agenda tonight. We'll move forward with the approval of minutes, first from the work session on September 16th, 2024, and the business meeting on September 17th, 2024. We'd ask that you approve these minutes as submitted, please.
You have the minutes before you, and you've read them. Do I have a motion for approval?
So move.
Motion by Vice Mayor Duncan, second by Alderman Phillips. City Manager.
All right, first item.
Excuse me. All in favor of approving the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Minutes are approved. Sorry about that.
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay.
First item is consideration of a budget ordinance to appropriate $54,000 from the Tennessee Highway Safety Office fiscal year 25 grant. You all will be familiar with this. Those of you all who are new to the board, you will quickly become familiar with these. We see these often, greatly appreciate the work done by staff to go after these as they help supplement the existing budget. This particular grant is designed to reduce the number of fatalities, injuries, and related economic losses as a result of traffic crashes on Tennessee highways. And again, we ask that you approve this ordinance allocating these dollars, which have no local match.
Mr. Attorney, will you publish, please?
An ordinance to amend the general project special revenue fund budget by appropriating grant funds received from the Tennessee Highway Safety Office for the year ending June 30, 2025, and to fix the effective date of this ordinance.
You've heard reading of the ordinance. Do I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion moved by Alderman George. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Cooper. Any questions? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries 7-0.
Next item is consideration of a budget ordinance to appropriate $25,000 from the Tennessee Highway Safety Office for the fiscal 25 coordinator grant. This grant will assist in various financial related things related to Corporal Matt McGuire's work. In this role, it also provides for additional funds for traffic enforcement education and for other officers that would be assisting Corporal McGuire in those efforts. Again, no matching funds, $25,000 grant. We'd ask that you approve the ordinance, please.
Mr. Attorney, will you publish the ordinance, please?
An ordinance to amend the general project special revenue fund budget by appropriating grant funds received from the Tennessee Highway Safety Office for the year ending June 30, 2025, and to fix the effective date of this ordinance.
You've heard the reading of the ordinance. Do I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion approval by Vice Mayor Duncan. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman George. Any questions? All in favor of the ordinance, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Ordinance approved, 7-0. Mr. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of a budget ordinance for various funds in fiscal 25. As you can see within the executive summary, this is fairly extensive, but is going towards several very exciting projects that we have been following for some time. Part of this is setting up the public art dollars that will go in for some of the upcoming projects, moving dollars around for the Fox Den Playground, also moving dollars from Visitor Enhancement Fund into the Fox Den Playground, and then making some adjustments to other projects within that utilize the regional sales tax funds, such as the Aquatic Center. So a host of things to allow us to continue operating, continue to move these projects forward. So we'd ask that you approve this budget ordinance on first reading, please.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, will you publish?
An ordinance to amend various fund budgets for the year ending June 30, 2025, and to fix the effective date of this ordinance.
Okay, you've heard reading of the ordinance. Do I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion approved by Alderman George, or second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Phillips. Any questions?
I just
Or
want to
discussion.
point out that, Bays Mountain Park Commission did, part of this is moving in over $400,000 that was received from donations to do the Fox Den Playground, which is a really cool thing, and we had so many people support it, and Dave Fox, that really worked on this with Brenda, did a fantastic job and are just wonderful, and I appreciate all the effort they put into it in the Bays Mountain Commission, and said, really, this is, a lot of donations for a project that is going to be super cool.
Thank you. Any other comments?
Mayor, I'd like to ask City Manager this. The $75,000 for the Justice Center expansion project, this is a cash issue. That money will not be taken from the project, though, correct?
Correct. For public art, we're going to use cash instead of bonds, and that's just what this is setting up.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, any other comments, questions? Okay. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries 7-0. The city manager.
Next item is consideration of a budget ordinance to enter into a contractual agreement with and sign all necessary documents with the Tennessee Department of Transportation for reimbursement of annual operating expenses for fiscal 24-25. This is an item coming to you on second and final reading. The funding for this will help support the Kingsport Area Transit's daily operations. We'd ask that you approve this ordinance on second and final reading, please.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
An ordinance to amend urban mass transit capital grant funding budget for the year ending June 30th, 2025, and to fix the effective date of this ordinance.
You've heard a reading of the ordinance. Is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
Approved by Vice Mayor Duncan. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Phillips. Any questions or comments? This requires a roll call vote, so Madam Recorder, please call the roll.
Alderman Baker,
Here, or yes.
You are here.
Alderman Cooper,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Duncan,
Aye.
Alderman George,
Aye.
Alderman Mays,
Aye.
Alderman Phillips,
Aye.
Mayor Montgomery.
Aye. The ordinance passed 7-0. The city manager.
Next item is consideration of a budget ordinance for various funds in fiscal 25. This comes to you on second and final reading, and you can see the executive summary there highlighting the movement of these dollars for various projects. We ask that you approve the ordinance on final reading, please.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
An ordinance to amend various fund budgets for the year ending June 30, 2025, and to fix the effective date of this ordinance.
Okay, heard a reading of the ordinance. I have a motion for approval.
So moved.
Move for approval by Alderman Cooper. Is there a second?
Second,
Second by Alderman
down here.
Moore, Baker.
Yeah.
Any questions or comments? Madam Recorder, please call the roll.
Alderman Baker,
Yes.
Alderman Cooper,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Duncan,
Aye.
Alderman George,
Aye.
Alderman Mays,
Aye.
Alderman Phillips,
Aye.
Mayor Montgomery.
Aye. Hey, city manager.
Next item is consideration of an ordinance to amend Kingsport Code of Ordinances, Chapter 34, Article 4, relative to alarm systems, and Section 2-264, relative to Special Code Enforcement Officers' Authority. We'd ask that you approve this item on second and final reading, please.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
An ordinance to amend the Code of Ordinances, City of Kingsport, Tennessee, Chapter 34, Article 4, Automatic Police or Fire Alarm Systems, and Section 2-264, Subsection 2, relative to Special Code Enforcement Officers within the Fire Department, to provide a penalty for the violation of this ordinance and to fix the effective date of this ordinance.
Thank you. Do I have a motion? You've heard a reading of the ordinance. Do I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Approved by Alderman Cooper. Is there a second? Second by Vice Mayor Duncan. Any questions?
This
Comments?
just puts us more in line, correct? That's what we're,
Correct.
okay.
Okay. Okay. Madam Recorder, please call the roll.
Alderman Baker,
Aye.
Alderman Cooper,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Duncan,
Aye.
Alderman George,
Aye.
Alderman Mays,
Aye.
Alderman Phillips,
Aye.
Mayor Montgomery.
Aye. The ordinance passed 7-0. Thank you. Mr. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of an ordinance to amend the fiscal 2025 General Project Fund to establish project funding for a new customer information system. We discussed this in our work session yesterday, but also you have another item pertaining to this later on. This is basically the first step that is necessary in order to move forward with the purchase of this software. We'll have more on that as we move through the agenda, but we'd ask that you approve this on second and final reading, please.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
An ordinance to amend the fiscal year 2025 General Project Fund budget to establish project and funding for new customer service system for the fiscal year ending June 30, 2025, and to fix the effective date of this ordinance.
We have the reading of the ordinance. Do I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Alderman Baker. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Vice Mayor Duncan. Any comments, questions?
I have a question, Mayor. And I'm sure the board has discussed this thoroughly, and I'm coming in late on that discussion. So having the experience with new software platforms, they rarely go as planned. I'm sure that city staff has took steps to mitigate disruptions in customer billing and so on and so forth.
We have, so this has been an internal team that has been aided by an outside consulting firm, Raftellus. They have walked us through this process really from day one. And so the internal team has done multiple site visits. They've had on-site visits. We have established within this building basically a war room, if you will, that allow us to simulate this software coming up online. We'll run the existing software plus the new software parallel to each other. We'll be training people constantly. And then as we roll the other one out, we'll slowly take roll the new one out, we'll slowly take the old one down. And so your questions and concerns are spot on. They're the same as ours. As we move through this year and we identify a new financial information system, the same process, the same work will be done to ensure a seamless transition. We have seen too many that have resulted in failure, and we're doing everything we can to prevent that. And really just can't say enough about our internal team that has been working on this. And then we've been very fortunate to have a consultant come alongside of us that understands our current system and knows where we want to be. So it's been a good process. But
Good.
yeah, definitely share your concerns.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. Thank you.
Yes.
Any other comments or concerns? Okay, seeing none. Madam Recorder, we take the vote, please?
Alderman Baker,
Aye.
Alderman Cooper,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Duncan,
Aye.
Alderman George,
Aye.
Alderman Mays,
Aye.
Alderman Phillips,
Aye.
Mayor Montgomery.
Aye. Resolution passes 7-0. We will now go to our next item. Mr. City Manager.
All right, moving into other business. First item is consideration of a resolution to purchase 2 Freightliners with Peterson TL3 loaders utilizing the Sourcewell contract. These are brush grabbers that we use within our solid waste department. You see there as well as attached. Give me a second, I'll bring up the all-important picture of what we're getting. There she is, she's a beaut. But one of the things, and with both items on the agenda tonight, as we have talked to you all so much in the past about inflation and specifically within our fleet department, over the years, this has seen a dramatic increase, pre-pandemic to current, I think almost like a 50% increase in what the cost for this piece of equipment is. And so we're very proud of our fully funded fleet department and our appreciation process that we go through. To say it has been challenged over the last few years with inflation would be an understatement, but we will be moving these new vehicles in, and I believe the anticipated delivery time is 6 to 7 months, which is improving from where we have seen it in the past. Still, some of our vehicles are plus 12 months, but this is a good time period for that.
Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution authorizing the city manager to execute a purchase order to CMI Equipment Sales Incorporated for the purchase of 2 Freightliner with Peterson TL3 loaders through Sourcewell Cooperative Purchasing Agreement number 040621-PII.
Thank you. You heard the reading of the resolution. Do you have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Approved by Alderman George. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Phillips. Any discussion? Any comments?
Is this what you use it like up and down the residential streets, or is it?
Yep, yep.
So you could really probably use it after this weekend?
I tell you what, if we had it right now, it'd be on the road.
With, I know this is, I assume we're guaranteed this 6 to 7 months, even though we know there'll be a lot of people looking for equipment because of where we've already got this approved.
Well, I wonder that, plus the dock workers strike, will that have any impact on delivery time?
Well, hopefully the dock worker strike won't
It should
impact
be already
this.
here.
It should be stateside, so we should be able to get that fairly quickly. Unless the staff has heard something different, I think we're probably tied in on the 6 to 7 months, and Michael Thompson's back there shaking his head no, so hopefully we're tied into that. I do think, to Alderman Baker's point and to your comment about the impact of the disaster and then the strike, we will be watching all of that closely to see if it impacts delivery on equipment. So be one to watch for sure.
I assume we'll be looking at trying to do things a little bit sooner, anticipating a longer time frame on our needs.
We will. Our fleet manager has a great relationship with all of these vendors, and so I'm sure conversations will transpire. We'll get a update for them regularly as, you should anticipate longer lead times. And that'll help us with maintaining what we have and knowing what that time period is from acquisition to delivery. Unfortunately, because of the pandemic, this is all very real to us. So if we have to wait 24 months, we've done it before. Mayor?
Any other comments? If not, we'll take a vote. All in favor of the resolution, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. The resolution passes 7-0. Mr. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of a resolution to purchase one Super Shot 125D asphalt crack sealer utilizing the Sourcewell contracts. Again, this is a fleet replacement vehicle. About a 60-day turnaround on this item. As you can see here, something that we're going to try to fix up for a Christmas parade potentially. But this is an existing one, so you kind of see what it has used within our streets department. Very handy in preserving asphalt, which is, as you know, a major component of our entire resurfacing program. So we'd ask that you approve the resolution authorizing the purchase of this item.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish the resolution.
A resolution authorizing the city manager to execute a purchase order to Craftco Incorporated for the purchase of one Super Shot 125D asphalt crack sealer through Sourcewell Cooperative Purchase Agreement number 080521-CFC.
Okay, we had a reading of the resolution. Do we have a motion for approval? Have a motion of approval by Vice Mayor Duncan. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Baker. Any questions or discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of the resolution say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Resolution passes 7-0. Mr. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of a resolution to amend employee and training development policy number 33 and adopt employee training agreement. Several things within this. First, as we have discussed with you all often, it's very common practice for us to do a review of not only our code of ordinances, but also our personnel policies. Over the last several years, we've had a lot of conversations through our strategic planning sessions in early spring, as well as with conversations with you all with the budget regarding employee training cost expenses. Really for the last several years and really coming out of the pandemic, the amount of turnover and movement we have seen, as many others have seen as well, has been significant. And with that, as you would imagine, comes a tremendous amount of cost to train employees in order to make them, really for them to meet the qualifications that we ask of them within the job that they were hired in at. And so one of the things that we were looking to do, again, a policy that we see quite a bit throughout the state of Tennessee and really throughout the Southeast with cities that we would look at, is a program that would allow for the employee to pay back investments that we have made in that individual should they voluntarily leave us within a 3-year period. In addition to that, we've also are asking you all through this to make a change that would increase the amount per semester in terms of tuition reimbursement. Many of our city employees have chosen to go back to school to further their education, to get their graduate degree, whatever that may be. Anything that we can do to help is a benefit. This has come up nearly 100% since when I had the opportunity to go through it, and so it's greatly appreciative. Graduate classes, undergraduate classes, very, very expensive, and this is a small way to support them, but also to provide the means to do so. With that, be happy to answer any questions. Our HR Director, Tyra Kopis, is here as well. I'd be happy to answer any questions, but Mayor, if not, we'd ask that you approve the resolution, please.
One question.
Thank you.
Does this take effect now, or does it include some of the employees that we already have?
Going forward. Yep.
Going forward?
Yep.
Oh, I'm in trouble, got there.
Yeah, you got Tyra coming up here now.
You're in trouble.
It would be the next semester, so effective now. They do have mini-mesters going on, so there is an opportunity, if someone wanted to take advantage, they could start in October and finish the mini-mester in December. So effective to date, but more likely, first implementation would be January.
And that's for both items, not only the reimbursement,
Yes.
but also the tuition.
Yes.
Chris, about how many people take advantage of the tuition
That's what I was
reimbursement?
asking.
Yeah, I mean,
Just
take advantage of
approximately.
tuition
We
reimbursement.
currently have 6.
Okay. Thank you.
Mr. Attorney, would please publish?
A resolution amending resolution number 2009-257 regarding the City of Kingsport Personnel Policy number 33, Employee Training and Development Policy.
You've heard the reading of the resolution. Do I have a motion for approval?
So move.
Motion approval by Alderman Baker. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Phillips. Any comments or discussion? Further comments or discussion?
I have a question, Mayor. if I may.
Okay.
Questions for the city manager. Can you just summarize feedback, if any, you've gotten from departmental directors or managers, particularly about the charging back the employee for the training?
Yeah, so in conversations with the managers, this has been a request that has been brought to me multiple times over the course of this year, quite honestly, going back probably even last year, to look at putting something like this in place, largely because they were seeing the investments they were making, the hits to the budget, and then the loss of those investments almost immediately, in some cases, after gaining whatever certification was required. So the department heads, the managers have been very, very supportive and, again, have been requesting this for some time.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Right. Most companies have this type of policy in effect. I mean, I know we do, so I think most would.
Yeah, I think I've relayed to some of you all, 2006, 2007, there was a cohort of City of Kingsport employees, the bulk of which I would say are still with the City of Kingsport, that went back and got their masters at ETSU. And we were the only city in the program that didn't have their tuition 100% paid for by the city or the county or whomever they were working for. Catch was, though, if they took the money to get it paid for, they had to stay there for a period of time. And so this is, again, a good change and one that we hope, quite honestly, we hope everyone that we put through the various trainings that they need to be part of this job, request to enhance their job, we hope they have a long career here. Those who choose to leave, we just simply ask for a return on that investment.
That reimbursement is less than half of what the tuition really is, though. So the employee has a pretty substantial investment they still have to make, but this is great that we're able to provide some tuition reimbursement.
And I hope we can continue to keep that up.
Yeah.
Is this only tuition in terms of college tuition? I mean, is there programs and certificates that
Yes.
people need that this also applies to, or is it?
Yeah, so-
Because the way it's written, it's more tuition, and some of those are,
Right. And
verbiage is
so,
different.
yeah, so there's some individuals that we will, they come to us, they want to go back to school, we'll walk through that process. But really, the first part of this, the payback and in the 3-year period, we're looking at those that were sent in the police academy, those that are getting their CDL, those that are becoming paramedics, those types of things.
Let me ask, the tuition reimbursement, is there going to be an agreement that employees have to pay that back if they leave?
All right, that one.
So they would not be under an agreement. So it is a reimbursement program, so they're paying the full cost up front. And so we would not ask them to pay. There's kind of the cost of doing business. And it has to be pre-approved, so it has to be in line with our business objectives before we approve their reimbursement.
And there's a grade requirement you have to hit to get reimbursed.
Yes.
Other questions, concerns, comments? Okay, all in favor of the resolution, say aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. Resolution passes 7-0. Mr. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of a resolution to authorize the issuance of qualified tax-exempt general obligation capital outlay notes, Series 2024, not to exceed $2 million. As we stated in the previous meeting, you had another item that set the structure up for the receipt of these dollars. This will be what we will utilize to fund all aspects of the customer information system. This will allow us to move forward with, a little bit later, to award the contract to Hanson. But as anticipated, and appreciate the work done by Lisa Winkle and her team, First Horizon was the low compliant bidder with a rate of 4.27, again on the 12-year note. It is our hope, as we walk through this, that we will be able to pay this off ahead of that 12-year note. And obviously, anything that we don't spend on the CIS, we intend to push towards the FIS, but this sets the framework up for that. Mayor?
Okay, thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish the resolution.
Resolution of the governing body of Kingsport, Tennessee, authorizing the issuance, sale, and payment of general obligation capital outlay notes, Series 2024, not to exceed $2 million.
Okay, you have the reading of the resolution. Do I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Approval motion made by Alderman George. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Mays. Are any comments or discussion?
One question on this, and I meant to ask the other day. I assume this type of note that you're looking at, I know you can prepay early, but is there any option of having a one-time reduction on the interest rate? Or is it something you if rates happen to drop, they're not, but.
Yeah, it's not.
No, but if by chance they did within this time frame, would it be that this would be paid off and we'd refinance it a different way? Or is there any, in this note, is there any ability to readjust it in time?
Lisa?
Lisa, and I'm sorry I didn't ask you the other day. I don't remember seeing it. in here.
No, it's a fixed rate note.
Okay.
In order to get a different rate, we'd have to pay it off and do something else.
Okay, I thought, but it said we're dealing with.
You know,
Thank you.
typically with something like this, if the time that you would do that would be when we issue bonds in the spring of '26, if we decided the interest was that we wanted to pay it off.
Okay. I think you did great. I'm thrilled with the rate you got. I just had that one question. Thank you.
Any other comments or discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of the resolution, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Resolution is adopted, 7-0. Mr. City Manager.
All right, next item is consideration of a resolution authorizing an agreement with Hanson Banner LLC for the purchase of software, customer information system, CIS, and the necessary service agreement. First and foremost, I want to thank Floyd Bailey, our CIO, for the work that he has done on this project. He and his team have done an outstanding job of guiding us through this, working closely with the consultant, asking a ton of questions, getting those questions answered, only to have more questions. They've thoroughly vetted this. We believe as we move forward with this and the rollout, our customers, first and foremost, will be very pleased with the modernization that this software will provide them, and really anticipate also just a tremendous amount of efficiencies that will come both internally and externally with that. But again, appreciate the work that Floyd has done, appreciate the work that Lisa and her team has done, and really our entire solutions group, which is kind of a new group for us, but is focusing more on the IT solutions that are available to allow us to operate so much more efficiently. Approval of this moves us forward. You can see kind of the timeline there from when we commence to when we anticipate going live. So a little over a year from now. Again, to Alderman Mays' point, a lot of work needs to go in to ensure a seamless transition between both platforms. So, Mayor, with that, I'd ask that you approve the resolution authorizing us to enter into this purchase and contract necessary for the purchase.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish the resolution.
A resolution awarding the proposal for a customer information system to Hanson Banner LLC, approving the service agreement with the same and authorizing the mayor to execute the agreement and all the documents necessary and proper to effectuate the purpose of the agreement.
You've heard a reading of the resolution. Do you have a motion for approval? Motion for approval by Vice Mayor Duncan. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Cooper. Any questions, discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries 7-0. Mr. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of a resolution authorizing an agreement with Raftellus for customer information software implementation management support contract. Anytime you roll something of this magnitude out, it's very beneficial for us, for the firm that we're purchasing the software from, to have someone running alongside us, guiding us. Raftellus has been doing that since day one as we've maneuvered through CIS, and they're also assisting us with FIS. You're familiar with this firm. They've been actively involved with our utility group for some time. We deal with a lot of different consultants. This is a consulting firm that's very multifaceted, but they've been valuable, very, very valuable to us moving through this. And so this adjusts their contract, allowing them basically to provide this necessary support through the conversion and rollout and implementation of our customer information system. So we'd ask that you approve the resolution authorizing the contract, please.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish the resolution.
A resolution approving an agreement with Raftellus for customer information software implementation management support and authorizing the mayor to execute the agreement and all the documents necessary and proper to effectuate the purpose of the agreement.
You've heard a reading of the resolution. Do you have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Alderman Phillips. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Baker. Any questions or discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of the resolution, of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion is approved, 7-0. Mr. City Manager.
All right, we now move into the consent agenda. You have 4 items on the agenda. I will read through those. If you'd like one pulled for additional discussion or clarification, please let me know. First item is consideration of resolution to amend employment verification policy number 25. Second item is consideration of a resolution ratifying an amendment for the water line upgrades for the Sullivan County Water Project. Item 3 is consideration of a resolution to accept an easement from the state of Tennessee for a water line installed in Warriors Pass State Park. Item 4 is consideration of a resolution to authorize the mayor to execute the SCSEP host agency agreement with First Tennessee Human Resources Agency for the Bays Mountain Park. We'd ask that you approve these items as presented, again, unless you'd like one pulled for further discussion.
Anyone want to pull anything? Okay. Do I have a motion for approval of the consent agenda items?
I make a motion that we approve the consent agenda items as presented.
Okay, is there a second? Second by Vice Mayor Duncan. Okay, Madam Recorder, please call the roll.
Alderman Baker,
Aye to all items.
Alderman Cooper,
Aye to all 4.
Vice Mayor Duncan,
Aye to all.
Alderman George,
Aye to all.
Alderman Mays,
Aye to all.
Alderman Phillips,
Aye to all.
Mayor Montgomery.
Aye to all. Okay, the city manager?
All right, move into communications section of the agenda. Again, as we stated last night, it has been a very interesting few days within our region. As we have discussed many times, parts of our region, including Kingsport, very blessed to come away with minimal damage, although many days without power and downed trees and some localized street flooding has been a problem compared to what our neighbors have been dealing with. Has been very challenging. Greatly appreciate the work that our team has done from day one. I was meeting with the mayor on Friday morning when a call came in asking me to activate our EOC. We opened that up, and a team of folks, including myself, spent the better part of the day down there getting everything set up, managing a host of things throughout the city. As we watched the news unfold, it became very clear that compared to the rest of the region, we were doing pretty good. And some of the devastation that we've seen, witnessed, has been challenging really to even put into words. Appreciate many of our folks, including a lot of folks from the Kingsport Fire Department that have traveled outside Kingsport city limits to provide their skills and expertise. In addition to that, a tremendous amount of work has been done through our utilities. We have built water lines extending into Greene County to provide some of those utility districts with additional water. We are providing equipment to neighboring cities that are in need. In fact, while we're sitting here, I've got a call from one of those cities. I anticipate the need for mutual aid is only going to continue, and we will gladly provide that in any way, shape, form, or fashion that we can, with the realization that it could be us next time. So appreciate the work that has been done, the work that will be done in this regard, and that's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Alderman George.
Are you going to start with me at this point? Okay. Well, I said I was without power for 5 days, and I know I complained about it to everybody here, but you look at what our neighbors are doing, the devastation they are facing, and what this region is going to face. And we are very blessed. I know several people have already gone out to purchase water to send and have already found that everybody else has already purchased it. I know a lot of the restaurants here are sending meals over there. You know, I know I did see something that said, please verify who you're giving to if you are doing some giving, because unfortunately there are some organizations that are not local and are not as reputable as others. And I really appreciate the city stepping up and immediately being on board and being there. I know we had a lot of our, as you said, a lot of our people. I know water is an issue. I know we've got things already saying to please conserve even, you know, here, and my prayers just going with them. It is going to be, I mean, it's a lot now, but it's going to be a lot for a long time. And for the people that are still out there, you know, as we prayed earlier, for the ones that have lost people or are looking for people, my heart just breaks. I mean, we're just, to have this in our region is just something that we don't expect. And it's devastating. And you know, mainly that's it. My heart just goes out to them, and I do appreciate everything the city does.
Thank you. Alderman Cooper.
Just to kind of piggyback on all that, I think as you hear all this and watch the news, all you think about is what can I do to help? And sometimes, you know, the worst of times bring out the best of people. I think there's a lot of people that are stepping up, have already stepped up. One, I know Reed Burton that does Braden's Barbecue. He's already organized food. He had 1,000 meals the first day. And so he's organized local restaurants to take on the challenge. And I know that tomorrow, my husband and I are going to pick up lunch meals from Giuseppe's and take over to Unicoi Middle School to feed Unicoi, you know, the people over there. You feel like it's a small drop in a bucket because you could go 1,000 different places to take these things. This Thursday, Shop and Hop downtown is going to be a benefit for the hurricane victims. So there's going to be, I think, at the high voltage, you can drop off items, and there's a list of items. If you go to the DKA website, there's a list of items that they're requesting. Everything's needed, but there's a request for certain items Also, at the Reserve that night, there's going to be a concert or music that you can go listen to music, and all the proceeds go to benefit the victims. So that's something that you can do. I know the chamber is a drop-off point. If you want to drop off things at the chamber, you can go to the your Kingsport Chamber and look at their requests for what they need. But like I said, I think that as you watch the news and watch everything, you try to figure out what you can do. And there's like you said, 1,000 different people asking for help. So just to be sure that you know who you're giving to. But there's some very good, reputable people in Kingsport that are stepping up to fill the need that they, in whatever way they can. So that's all.
Thank you, Mayor. I have a couple of comments. One is I want to thank the Board of Mayor and Aldermen and you, Mayor Montgomery, for bestowing upon me the honor to serve the city of Kingsport and especially serve the citizens of Kingsport. Greatly honored and humbled to be a member of this board, and I look forward to working with each and every one of you, City Manager Chris McCart, and all the city staff and city employees. So really honored to be here. Thank you so much. Thank all of you. In regard to the disaster, it is indescribable. And in my career role, I've been over there and seen Deputy Chief Arnold and Kingsport Police over there, law enforcement officers all across the state, rescue personnel all across the state, all across the country, actually, various parts of East Tennessee. And I'm really encouraged to hear the board's comments and city manager comments, because it's going to be a hard recovery. And I think with City of Kingsport personnel, the type of training, type of people we have, the expertise that we can offer as a city to our region, I think would go a long way. And I'm really glad to hear that this board supports that, because I really believe our neighboring cities and counties are going to need it. So encouraged to hear all that. But again, thank all of you. It's truly an honor. Thank you.
Thank you. Alderman Baker.
I'd like to talk just a minute about the joint work session we had with the school board. Dr. Hampton provided an update on their strategic plan, and if I'm right, all areas for proficiency had improved over last year. And one I'll note, they had gains, their sixth graders proficient in math, and the TCAP scores increased 11%. That's a pretty strong increase. Also love the fact that their goal is to be in the top 10 school districts in the state. I think that is a great goal to have. I believe true workforce development begins with a strong foundation with our public school system. My thoughts also go out to those that was affected by the storms. We had in our business 3 employees who lost everything, 1 at Roan Mountain and 2 in Chilhowie. And I am proud of our city employees who are over assisting, and our city employees who have worked here in Kingsport to get the work done that they have since the storm happened. So much appreciation goes out for that. That's all I've got.
Thank you. Alderman Phillips.
Just echo what a lot of people have said. Start off with the schools last night. I thought it was a good presentation. I was hoping it would go a little bit longer, but we had to cut it off. It was almost morning, but no, it was a good presentation. There was a lot of good information. I think there's a lot of good stuff to take away, but one thing that we just need to keep talking about, I think, is the school's desire and need for 2 new elementary schools in the city of Kingsport, and I think they present a great case for that. I think there's some good options on the table for what it looks like. Their locations, I believe, is, one in Lynn Garden and one at they call it the TAC, and I call it where TCAT is, but the Old North High School. So a lot of acronyms in there. But so I do think that is the first new elementary schools in the city in 25 years.
No, Adams was newer than that. That was Washington.
Or Washington's almost 30 now.
30, yeah.
So it was 22 years, I thought they said, for Adams, maybe, or 15, I can't remember. But anyway, first new elementary school in a long time. And 2, You know, that's a big investment, and so we've got to look at how we can look into that. But also, so then I want to thank our first responders, as everybody else has said. I got this paper here, and 52 of our fire department personnel have been deployed in other areas while this has been going on, and you know, our police are having to step up with this, and it's just I drove today. My car was stuck in Asheville, so I had to drive from here to Asheville and back today to get my car. Crystal was very excited about that journey, but it is the devastation in Irwin. It looks like a movie. It looks like a apocalyptic movie. Or Crystal said it looked like the aliens had come and everybody had ran. I've never seen anything like it. I mean, there are hundreds and hundreds of giant trees blocking the interstate. I mean, it's just crazy. So definitely thoughts and prayers with all the people in Irwin and then all into Asheville. I mean, we stopped at a grocery store in Asheville for a bathroom break, and we quickly realized what a huge mistake we had made. There were 75 cars in line for gas at a gas station that had power. So it was crazy. And so, you know, it's not just our neighbors here in the state of Tennessee, but Western North Carolina and everybody around is just really hit hard right now. So just thoughts and prayers to them, but appreciate what a great job our city staff has done in supporting where they can. That's it.
Okay, thank you. Vice Mayor Duncan?
Well, just to kind of continue on with that, it's, you know, we started out with a prayer, and those will need to be continued for quite some time, because this devastation is not something that's going to be over quick. It's going to be months and even years to get some of these areas back going again. So hats off to Public Works and our first responders too. You know, even while it was raining, I passed and we had, you know, our police was blocking off roads where a tree had fell across some power lines. Seen first responders where they were, you know, on their way to Irwin and different places like that. So just truly proud of our city and the way we were able to supply some water also to our neighboring counties, even down in Jonesboro, we talked about yesterday. So, you know, each one of us could probably talk about this for a long, long time, but just really just appreciation to all of our employees that's been involved in this. And then finally, it's good to have a full board again. And so we're glad to have Gary here with us. And Gary, we look forward to working with you and being on our board. And
Thank you.
It's good to have you here. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you again. I can just ditto everything that's been said tonight, especially the professionalism and the hard work that our city staff continues to do day in and day out. And the spirit that we have in our community of compassion and giving. We just have a very giving community. Very hard work. I know city manager worked all weekend and others worked all weekend to make sure that things were going better. I too was without power for a couple of days, and I understand how that is. Appreciative of the work that's been done. So with that, I would say thank you for your attendance tonight. Tammy, we usually go through these pretty quickly. This meeting's adjourned.
Thank you.
And now we're gonna have a picture.
Matthew, you want to take a picture?
Hey, Floyd.
Hey,
It's gonna be
I take it
signed.
as